All right, man, what's your name? What are you doing down here?
Lorenzo Rulli. I'm down here because I am an advocate for the folks on the street.
Okay, cool. So what is your understanding of what's going on here so far? What have you been told?
The city of Pittsburgh and the elected officials here failed to protect the people who are the most vulnerable in our city. And now the people who are here because the Smithfield Street shelter closed back in June. And this encampment was created along with the others around here. If the shelter wasn't closed, they wouldn't have to be here. So we get this situation, and now the city is going to displace these people who they already displaced once and give them nowhere else to go. Now, real quick, the policy says that people can be anywhere except for a right-of-way passage. Everywhere is a right-of-way passage except for private property, which they're also not allowed to be on. Where do they go?
Sure. Now, I've been told and heard from people talking around that these people are going into shelter, but do we know where there's shelter space for these people?
There isn't no shelter space. They're going to displace people to fill those spaces. There was 110 people to 140 people that needed to be relocated from Smithfield. They relocated 75. So those people were still displaced. And they're putting people in communities where they don't know how to succeed, where they don't know how to have a community, because these are all new spaces, new people. So you set them up to almost fail because they can't lean on one another.
Sure. What do you think, if it were up to you, what do you think we should do with these people that live out here?
Well, we have to first understand what they want and what they need, right? Because we have to meet them where they are and not where we want them to be. You can't expect someone to go to rehab and then suddenly have all the life skills. You need to give people mental health treatment first, because rehab cannot solve their problems if they're not getting treatment, and it does not need to happen at the same time. It needs to happen first. Then you get people into rehabilitation, and in rehabilitation, you're not just teaching them how to not do drugs, you're teaching them how to cope with wanting to do drugs, right? Then you get to the actual boarding process, where you give someone somewhere to stay before you throw them into a house. You teach them life skills, how to finance, how to balance a check or an account, right? You teach them life skills so that they can pay their rent, that they can make sure that they have food in the house. Because when you're out here for so long, you forget how to do these things because you learn how to do the street way.
Sure. What do you think the end of today looks like? What do you think this encampment looks like by the end of day today?
They're gonna remove everybody's stuff. If you can't carry it out, they're gonna toss it in the trash. So, and that, again, when you take nothing from people with nothing, you give them nothing to live for. I keep warning people that when you fail the most vulnerable people in a city fails. I wouldn't be surprised if the 100 of people, like there's at least 100 people sleeping outside right now here on the north side. Those people decided that they wanted to do something. The city could become a lot of things.
Okay. And one more question for you. Why, the city doesn't have enough shelter space that's become pretty obvious.
Yeah.
What do you think the reason for that is?
Because the homeless community in the city of Pittsburgh is not an important community. And that's across the world, right? But generally speaking, the homeless people do not have support. They do not have care. And all of the advocates that are out here today not have the outreach programs, the finances to pay and help, and the platforms to put people on blast, they have been silent. So people showed up today to witness something, but they haven't showed up to stop this prior to where we are today.
All right. Lorenzo Rulli, thank you so much for the interview.
No problem,
Appreciate it,
buddy.
man.